Hey everybody, welcome back to the Primary Care Podcast. It's Dr. Mark List. Today, forget the normal workup, forget the normal intro. We're going straight into the joke today because this is a good one. The man who invented cough drops died yesterday. Unsurprisingly, there will be no coffin at his funeral. Let's start the podcast.
The Primary Care Podcast is written and edited by a family physician for an audience of other physicians, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, residents, and medical students interested in primary care topics. This is not a podcast for patients and should not be used as medical advice. This is also a personal podcast produced on my own time and solely reflecting my personal opinions. Statements of this podcast do not reflect the views or policies of my employer, past or present, or any other organization with which I may be affiliated.
Thank you for listening to the Primary Care Podcast. I'm Dr. Mark List, here to bring you the latest news, guidelines, and updates from primary care sources around the globe. Keeping it under 15 minutes long because you're in a hurry and I'm not that smart. Well, welcome back to the Primary Care Podcast, my pod people, pod girls, pod boys. Today is a fun episode. Turn off your brain. Enjoy this. We'll make this short and sweet. The article today I'm reviewing is from CNN.com, and it is Pickleball injuries may cost Americans nearly $400 million this year. That's right. Pickleball, America's fastest growing sport, is taking a toll on players' wrists, legs, and shoulders. And it's especially popular with injury-prone seniors, which is driving up the cost burden. Pickleball injuries may cost Americans $377 million in healthcare costs this year, accounting for a 5 to 10% of total unexpected medical costs this year, UBS analysts estimated a report on Monday. So they linked to an article from 2021, which is an actual scientific journal. Okay, so the Injury Epidemiology, the Journal of Injury Epidemiology from 2021 in the month of May. I will link this in the show notes. The background is, the title of the article is Non-Fatal Senior Pickleball and Tennis-Related Injuries Treated in the United States Emergency Departments 2010 to 2019. The CNN article goes on to say that in 86% of emergency visits due to pickleball injuries occurred in people over the age of 60. So if you're under 60, good news, only 14% of ED visits came from your bracket. If you're older than 60, careful on the pickleball courts. 60% of pickleball injuries are strains, sprains, and fractures. And specifically, of all the injuries in pickleball, 28% were specifically fractures. Now, interestingly, okay, this is where the data gets fun. Senior males over the age of 60 were 3.5 times more likely than senior females to suffer a pickleball-related strain or sprain. 3.5 times more likely, guys. Yep, we're coordinated, being way too aggressive, diving after balls. Whereas female pickleball players, seniors specifically, were over 3.5 times more likely to suffer a fracture compared to men, and 9 times more likely to suffer a wrist fracture. So, osteoporotic seniors, stay off the pickleball courts. Stay off the pickleball courts, do something else. And they said patterns of senior tennis and pickleball injuries were mostly similar. And why is this important? Because according to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association trade group, pickleball has grown from 3.5 million players in 2019 to 8.9 million last year. And this year, they're expecting a massive rise in the number of players, going all the way up to 22 million this year. Now, why did I pick this article? Number one, it's because my wife and I just started playing pickleball. And we have pickleball courts right next to our house. And they are always constantly full compared to the tennis courts that used to be there just not too long ago, a couple years ago, pre-pandemic. And now that they made one whole tennis court into pickleball courts, the pickleball courts are always full every time you drive by. And it's not just old people. The old people are there in the morning. At nighttime, young people are there. So something to educate your patients on, especially your elder pickleball patients, making sure that they are aware of the injury risk, and they are aware especially of those females playing pickleball, that we do some DEXA scans to make sure that we're not getting osteoporotic wrist fractures. Anyways, again, really short, really fun topic today on the unknown, the unexpected costs of pickleball in the United States. So yeah, this has been Dr. Mark List. Have a great week. Reminder, you don't need to stay up all night to stay up to date. Email me at primarycarepod@gmail.com with any fun articles or jokes. Thanks. Have a great week. Bye.